and today I have for you another polymer clay tutorial. Before I start, I just wanted to say real quickly, the reason why this is different than my usual setup is just because I'm at my fiance's house. Say hi, fiance. He's quiet and shy, he don't want to say hi. But I just had to get a little bit of it done over here, so you're going to notice some of the photos, lighting's changed, and some of the things change. Hopefully you'll be able to watch this video because I kind of messed up some of the images, so we'll see how this goes. But today I'm making a request that somebody asked me to make, which is W.D.Gaster from the Undertale / Deltarune games. And he came out pretty good. I was a little slack for time this week. But he still looks better than I expected him to for kind of rushing a little bit of it. And for transporting him back and forth to 2 different houses. But anyways, and I will be doing another tutorial soon that somebody else requested. I can't remember it off the top of my head. And whoever requested this, I will put their name right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the tutorial. Bye-bye, my bunnies.
Alright, for this tutorial, you're going to need the following colors: pearl, white, and black. Very simple. To start, we're going to start with the black color, which I just use Sculpey 3 because it's my preferred brand, but you can use whatever you like. And then I pre-rolled all the balls I would need, except I did forget 2 for the feet, so you'll need 2 additional balls here. And we're going to start with the largest one first, and you're just going to roll it into a teardrop shape, similar to what I usually do, but make it more long and narrow than usual. And then press it gently against your work surface so that the bottom will be flat. Then just tip it on the side and cut the tip off. After that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next 2. These are going to be his legs. So you're going to take these 2 balls at the bottom, roll these into very long, thin snake shapes. Then just cut the tips and the back ends off as well. And I did cut the back ends off on just a slight bias downward. Then where the bison is, just stick it against the body, try to make it even, and bend them at the knees. I wanted to give them kind of like a sexy, more mature pose. So this was the best I could do. Here's the 2 additional balls I was talking about earlier. These are going to be the feet, so just roll these in the narrow teardrop shapes like this. And then just gently press both of them down with your finger against the work surface. And after you do that, just slide them right underneath the ankle pieces. And voila! And, blend it with a blending tool just to be more secure. After that, we're going to move on to his arms. We're going to use these 2 balls right here. And just like with the legs, you're going to roll them out in the really long snake-like cylinders. And again, very similar with the legs, you're just going to cut the tips off and cut the tops off at a bias. And again, one more time, the bias part's just sticking on the body, and I just crossed his arms over himself. Again, I just wanted it to look more mature, mysterious kind of looking. Next, we're going to move on to the last black ball, and you're going to take some kind of rolling tool and roll this out very thin as you can get it without it falling apart. And after you've done that, get something to cut with, and just cut the top, the bottom, and the sides. And I just cut the sides kind of at an angle because this is the cape. And then I just kind of used the X-Acto tool to indent 3 times to make it pointed looking. And then I also used this little nail styling tool to indent to give it some textured look. Since there's very little colors, I tried to give them as much detail as possible. After that, just stick it on his backside, just like this. And then I just tilted him on the back and just cut out a triangular shape where his shirt's going to go in the middle. Then again, to give him more detailing, I just did some lines on his feet. And now we're done with all the black, so we can go ahead and go on to the pearl color, which is going to be for his clothing. So you're only going to need 2 balls of clay. These 2 right here, about a 1/2 inch in diameter, maybe a little bit less, not too big. And we're going to start with the first one, just whichever one, they're almost the same size, it don't matter. Roll it into a very pointed teardrop shape, and then just like before, you're going to take your finger and gently press it down against your work surface. And then after you do that, it should look a little something like this right here, where it's still kind of domed on the top but flat on the bottom. Then just kind of size it up and see how much you need, and then just chop it in half. And then the pointed part, you're going to stick where the triangular piece was cut out, just like this. And then there is a little excess hanging over, so just as you're going to see in this next picture right here, I just turned it around to see how much was hanging over. And I just used my X-Acto tool to very gently and slowly cut the excess off. And voila. Perfect, right? Now he has a shirt showing. Then taking the same tool, I just indented lines to make it like kind of like a turtleneck sweater, which is kind of like what he has in the game. So that's the best way I could do sweater texture. Now we're moving on to the turtleneck part of his sweater. So you're just going to take the ball, gently press it down about halfway, just like this, and then just take some kind of tool, either an X-Acto blade or a nail dogging tool or a ball tool, and just indent lines to make it look kind of slunken in or something like that. And then just stick it on top, use some glue to make it more secure. And then I just stuck a toothpick in it, just for stability for the neck, the head, the body. Now finally we're going on to the white clay. And again, I just went on ahead and pre-rolled out all the balls that I would need, and this is all I needed. Pretty simple. We're going to start with the biggest one first. It's going to be the head, so just roll it into a very pointed teardrop shape. This is different than what I usually do, but again, just use a reference picture to see the shape you need. After that, I just stuck it on the toothpick. Very simple. Then I just took the other two balls and rolled them into very long pointed teardrops and pressed them down gently with my fingers. Taking a break for coffee. That's good. Even though it's 11:30 at night, I don't need it. Then I just took my X-Acto blade and just cut pointed fingers. Usually I do rounded, but since he's a skeleton, I assume he's a skeleton. I just wanted them to be pointed, more mysterious. And then I just posed them around the arms, just kind of how I saw fit. That's the front. Here's the side. I did smooth out the fingers a little bit on the side there because it looks a little rough. And then after that, I just took a little acrylic bead for the eye, stuck it on where I needed it to be, pulled it back off because we're getting ready to bake. Don't forget to use rubbing alcohol to clean the white. I forgot to do that, but make sure you clean it just to keep it nice and pretty. Then just bake it at 350 for 12 minutes in a gas oven or 9 minutes in an electric. Then the base that I wanted it to be on, I just painted it black. Very simple. After he's baked and cooled off completely, just take a pencil and draw on the other details of his face, just like so. It doesn't have to be pretty, we're going to paint over it anyways. Then after I painted over it, this is the final product. Looking fly, cute as all get out. And then I just took my Loctite glue and glued the bead back into the socket for his eyeball. And then I just took E6000 and glued him to his wooden base, which you could have painted the base white too, but it's really just a matter of preference of that. And then I used my polyurethane floor varnish to glaze him up with 2 coats for extra security. And then we're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope the amazing Bonnie, I hope you really liked this tutorial, even though it took me a while to get to it, but thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye, my bunnies.